All right, hey, welcome people to the third episode of 2021's Stoop Stories, a Southwind podcast. Really excited about this one because this will not only be the year that we get off the stoop, Josh, we're going to stay off the stoop. So maybe the listeners tuning in can help us with the new slogan to end this with, because, man, I have a feeling, I can feel it in my bones. Man, we're not only getting off the stoop, we're staying off the stoop this year, man. This year's going to be different for us.
Yeah, I believe that, 100%.
So today, we are going to discuss the topic that helps us do that. You know, a couple of topics actually, but we're going to start with exploring desire, man, because what I have recognized in my life, in my interactions professionally with professionals and executives and team members all over the world, is that desires that people have them all screwed up. And what they actually desire isn't the thing that will get them what they want. For example, if someone desires to be perceived as cool or important or powerful or dope or good at things, or if someone desires to have a profitable business, they desire that, but that desire doesn't equal it happening for them. Yeah. Some people might desire to have a certain type of car. Like, for example, I want a Porsche Panamera. Have you seen what I drive?
Yeah.
Is it a Porsche Panamera?
It is not a Porsche Panamera.
Then you know what that means? That my desires are wrong because they don't equal a Porsche Panamera. Mm-hmm. And now, since I've had the opportunity to mind shift and get off the stoop, I know that. So if you were to ask me, why don't you? Man, because I haven't done what it takes. Because my desires for too long were in the wrong spot. Now they're in the right spot, and it takes years of having the right desires for that Porsche Panamera to manifest itself. And I'm willing to have the patience to
let's
wait.
give us a quick example. What do you believe would equate to the Porsche Panamera? What desires would equate to that?
I have a desire, and I've shared some of these things with you. I have a desire to be the most self-disciplined person on the planet. That's a desire.
Because you believe what?
If I'm able to accomplish that, when I'm able to accomplish that, nothing will be impossible for me. So I do all kind of crazy stuff to train my self-discipline.
Yes, you do.
So help us out with that, though, right? We have people who desire things that don't equal the things they desire. I know that's kind of like a tongue twister. Hopefully you guys are able to stay with me on that. But business owners desire to have profitable businesses, correct?
Right.
What do you believe would be the correct desire to make that happen? Because you have a profitable business.
I do.
Several of them.
Yes.
As does Tyler.
Yep.
What desires do you guys have that equals your businesses being profitable?
Yeah, the desire. One desire would be for my people to continue to develop into leaders, right? Because I recognize that if my people develop into leaders, then they can develop other people, which makes us a better company from an operational standpoint, and we can create vision, and there's new ideas and innovation. Also, I desire to have a good understanding of what the key performance indicators are in my business, have a benchmark of where they are, and exceed the benchmark that we currently believe is the standard.
That's really good. Those desires, they equal profitable business and people leading and growing.
Yeah, so when I hear this, I think about, yes, you have these desires, but then there's all these key results or action items that happen underneath all of these desires. Like when you tell me, hey, I want the Porsche Panamera, I think, okay, great, that's a great objective to have, and I think that material things they're not important. I think, you work hard and you want to have things that you want, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem happens when you believe that you should already have them without doing the necessary steps in order to get them, i.e. being the most disciplined human on earth, or saving enough money where I can do what I want, how I want it. So when I decide I want a Panamera, I can get it. Yeah. Making the right financial decisions would be a key result or an action item that needs to happen. And I think it's just whole understanding from a human standpoint of like, everybody has wants or desires. Because that's what desire is. The definition is what you want, right?
Yeah.
So
what you want.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Everybody has stuff that they want. Some people aren't willing to do what it takes to get what they want. For instance, if we're talking about a sports analogy, and you want to be the starting quarterback on your team, okay? what would you say are 3 things that you need to do in order to be the starting quarterback on your team?
First one in, last one out of everything.
Okay, incredible work ethic.
Okay. Super disciplined in your film study. You should watch the same amount of film as the O coordinator.
Okay, so gain knowledge and understanding.
And a leader in the classroom.
And lead from the front, being someone who gains knowledge and understanding. And then I'd also add getting more repetitions.
Yeah.
So and if you're not getting them in practice, you have to stay after practice or before practice to get enough repetitions so you can be the starting quarterback. Now, here's the thing about that. So if I'm your coach and I see you doing these things, it will equate to me believing something different about you. Oh, wow, he's taking this seriously. Oh, wow, he's willing to do the work. Yeah. Oh, wow, he'll do anything it takes to get the reps necessary so when it's game time, he's ready to go. So, he's my starting quarterback now. Yeah. And so, I think this is the problem with society by and large. Everybody has all these wants and desires. I have all these things that I want, but I'm not willing to do the necessary steps, or I can't even recognize what the necessary steps are. So I get upset. And then there's this whole other edge of the sword, which is, I want this stuff. I've done some stuff, and I believe I should already have it. And here's the secret. If you believe that you should already have something, or if you believe that you've earned something that is not yet in your possession, guess what? You didn't earn it yet.
You didn't earn it.
Because everything that you are supposed to have, life has this way of giving it to you. So if you are supposed to have the Panamera LaDrew, I know you want it really bad. You ain't done enough yet, G. And that's just the reality of it.
Close.
So I'm sorry to tell you that, and I really wish that you had done enough yet.
Yeah, I do too.
But if you look at what it takes, and if we were to go through, and we'll just keep this Porsche Panamera concept here. If we were to go through and we were to talk to 20 people who had a Porsche Panamera, and we would ask them, all right, so I want you to take me through the last 10 years of your life, and I want you to tell me all of the things that you did in order to be able to drive this vehicle today.
Correct.
I guarantee, you're probably doing a lot of those things. The only difference is the time you committed is going to be different than the time that they committed.
Correct.
And, you talked about being on the Stoop, and it was how long ago when you got off?
I would say truly, honestly, 6 years. 6 years off the Stoop.
So we know right now that 6 years off the Stoop
is not long enough.
It's not long enough to get the Porsche Panamera.
No, it's not.
Okay, so maybe it's 10 years off the Stoop.
I think it's 8.
Okay, maybe it's 8 years off the Stoop, and we'll see. Because in 8 years off the Stoop, if you have, that means you've done all the things necessary in order for you to get what you want.
Correct.
So, if you don't have what you want right now, guess what? You haven't done enough yet. That's just the truth of it. Whether it's power, respect, money, things, house, car, whatever you think it is, there's more that needs to be done yet in order for you to get what you want. Nobody's holding anything from you.
That was really good. So I have 2 things that I want to hammer in on. One is I don't even think about a Porsche Panamera anymore because I changed my desires to the things that equal the Panamera. I used to think about it a lot, but I don't think about it at all. I just think about what will actually equal that happening, such as self-discipline and sacrifice. Okay? Then the other thing you had mentioned that some people believe they should have the things that they don't have. And then that's a whole nother, it's not desire, that's another D word called delusion. Some people are delusional. For a large majority of my life, I was delusional.
Let me know how that manifested.
Me coming to a point where I was no longer delusional?
Tell me about the delusion. What were you delusional about? How did that work in your life?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's anytime. Okay, I'll tell you a recent one because this is I'm off the stupid. I was delusional, right? And it was man. I love my wife so much. She is so amazing, and we have a really good relationship. But there was a day I was really busy and had a lot going on, and I remember she was, getting ready for bed. She was taking a shower, and I asked her a question because I desired something. Desires is what you want. I wanted something that night. I wanted something. And the look she gave me when I asked for it, Nate, it spoke volumes. That's not happening. That was my desire. That's what I wanted. But I was delusional. I hadn't talked to her all day, complimented her at all that day, saw how her day was, gave her the lovey-dovey. I was delusional because I honestly thought she was going to say yes.
Oh, you did? You actually believed that?
Yeah, I was like,
that
hey,
was delusion.
Hey, come here. We're about to do
She
something.
said, "This isn't 1945.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be doing me like that."
Yeah, she's like, you're delusional. Is what she told me. You're delusional. And I went to bed like a sad puppy.
Yep. It didn't count. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So,
You hadn't done the work yet.
I hadn't done
or
the
you
work.
would have already. Hey, because here's the thing about it. Had you done the work already, guess what would have happened?
She'd have been waiting on me to get home.
Man, couldn't have waited for it.
Dinner would have been ready,
Because the
whole
work
deal.
was done.
The work was done.
And and you always say a worker's worth his wages. I think this plays into that, right?
It does.
So we don't talk about wages. We think a worker's worth its desires.
Yeah.
So like, if you were supposed to get it, guess what you would have done? You would have already got it.
I would have got it.
Yeah, that's the reality of it.
Yeah, so I think we really have to tune in and say, am I delusional? Am I? Ask yourself, if you're listening right now, think about your desires and think about whether you have it or not. And it's likely that if you want it, it's because you don't have it. So do you recognize that the reason why you don't have it is you? Because if you recognize that, good. If you don't recognize that, you're delusional. There's something wrong with you and you need to mind shift like right now because it's the only way to stay off the stoop.
How do I know if I'm delusional or not? What are some things that, other than me not having the thing?
Yes, here's how you know. You had said we could look at 10 people who have a Porsche Panamera and look at the past 10 years of their life.
Yeah.
If you're not doing the things that the people who have what you want are doing and you think you should have them, you're delusional.
Yeah, what if I don't know what those things are? What should I do?
You should ask someone who does.
So they call that what? Mentorship.
Mentorship, yeah.
Yeah, so like that's a key. So just put that in there, everybody who heard that. In order for you to get what you want and not be delusional, you first have to find someone to mentor you who has what you're looking for, and then help make sure they're telling you the truth of what it really took.
Yes, and I would say I sit in one of the things that I would assume you and Tyler appreciate about me, because I'm in a role where I can mentor people, and part of that, I'll explain to you exactly why I don't have the Panamera, which qualifies me to mentor you, because I'm not delusional. And I'll say, hey, understand this, it takes 8 years to get it, buddy, because when you purchase that vehicle that you desire at the wrong time, it's going to provide stress on your life that Tyler was talking about in that last episode. And now your marriage is going to suffer because of it.
Yep.
You're too high on the hog. Matter of fact, you're like steering the hog with the hog's ears. You're so high on the hog instead of right in the middle where you should be or on the back end. Mm-hmm. That's delusional. Okay, it takes time. I think of other things that qualify me. I'm willing, because I'm so self-disciplined and I strive to be the most self-disciplined person on the planet, I'm willing to sacrifice what most people aren't willing to sacrifice. That means I'm not delusional. And that qualifies me to mentor and give guidance and advice, because anything you want, the number one thing that it requires is sacrifice.
Yeah, I think I would add something else that requires maturity.
Yeah.
I think that maturity life experience, I think of who I was when I was 27, 28, 29 years old and what I believed to be true. And I think about that same person now and I think, wow, I didn't know I didn't know a damn thing. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Like at that time in my life, I was a business owner, a successful one. I had a wife and kids. I had what some people would perceive a successful life. Okay. And now I look at I'm 37 right now, and I look back at when I was, call me 29 or 30 or 31, 32 even. Man, I knew nothing. Nothing. What I know now is so much more than what I knew then about life, business, marriage, relationships, desire, effort, planning, organization, what it takes to be successful. Man, it's huge. I mean, the gap is massive. And so I think about that when I think about, our leaders, because I have so much compassion for us right now in our organization. We've got a lot of young leaders. And I know that it is going to be a massive process and undertaking over the next 10 years of their lives to help them mature in a way where we can give them the information and the experiences necessary for them to see life how it really is. Because a lot of people, and not just in our organization, but just in general, just want. And, I think that is completely normal. But I think you talk to anybody who's in their mid-30s, and they tell you, like, wow, what I've learned in the last 10 years is massive. And I think you have to recognize that it's not over right now. Like being 25, 30, or even 35, or even 37 like I am, man, we have a lot of years, God willing, we have a lot of years on this earth. And we're going to continue to learn. If we're intentional about ourselves, we're going to continue to learn, different things about what it takes to be successful, different things about how you become a good husband or a good father. I think about just being vulnerable. Man, one of the things that I'm most ashamed of in my life is that I wasn't as good of a father and husband when I was 29 or 30 or 31 that I am now. And I still got tons of work to do, but like, man, I grinded really hard. You'll hear Tyler talk about it from time to time. And he'll say like, man, it was like there was 5 years of my life I can't even remember. And I never say this with him because, he says, I feel the exact same way. 5 years of my life, I don't even remember it. The time when I had my first child to the time when she was, I don't even say like 7 years old. Like I think back and she's 12 now, or she'll be 12 in July. And man, I don't remember.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Real quick? How many businesses do you own?
Total businesses, we're getting ready to be 15 companies. Oh, no, I own 16 companies.
Yeah, so that's a lot. How many people do you think would like to own 16 companies?
To all of them.
Everybody.
Unless they own more.
Yeah, unless they already own more, which if they do, I could say they can relate. They would say, yep, I feel you. The desire doesn't equal the sacrifice. Yours does. Okay, so the reason why I don't have the Panamera or $1 million house, everybody wants $1 million house, right? Mm-hmm. The reason why I don't have that stuff is because, man, I can remember what I was doing when I was 27. You know what I was doing? I was hanging out with my best friend. Do you know what his name was?
I believe it was Les. Is that
was
right?
Les.
Does that have my
hey,
name?
LaDrew, let's go to Power and Light.
Yeah.
Let's turn up. Hey, before we go, let's pregame. I remember.
Yeah.
And those raggedy ass
Let's get the new Jordans.
Let's get the new, oh my goodness. And let's get the belt to match and the hat.
Oh, yeah.
I had the little lids card. You remember if you had the lids card, you probably don't know.
I don't
if you had
know
the lids
what
card,
that
you
is.
had the discount on the hats.
No, I don't know what that is.
Keep them flat without the stickers on the top.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Right? I remember.
Let's get the Gucci belt.
The fake one, though. Okay. and tuck the shirt in into the front of the belt.
Just in the front, though.
Just so everybody knows what time it is. Just in the front. Right?
Man.
So, man, I would say hats off to you. And your children will benefit from seeing that sacrifice because they understand that, man, it takes a certain thing to influence and impact the world and the lives outside of your home.
Yeah,
and that's what this place called Southwind is all about.
There's things called like, I said one of the things I'm ashamed of. Here's the thing, I don't regret it. Although I'm not happy about how I lived my life, I recognize that what I had to do was what it took in order to get to where I am today.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of it, right? It was a sacrifice. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to sacrifice stuff that you really care about, like time with your kids. And that's really, really hard. And we've got a new leader named Jeff Sims in the organization. And Jeff is somebody who, man, he is a consummate sacrificer.
Yeah, he is.
That man, like, his family lives in a different state. He drives and sees them on the weekends because he's so committed to what he's doing right now and committed to them having the life that they want to live. And so, like, his family lives 3 hours away. And so on Sunday, when he was coming back, he wanted to have dinner with his family, right? So, but he needed to be at work at Monday. So he had dinner and then woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning to drive to Kansas City so he could be here. Now, that's a level of sacrifice that meets its desires. I know what Jeff's desires are. And continuous sacrifice like that equals what he wants.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of it. I think that when, everybody just wants and they're not willing to sacrifice, or maybe they recognize that they sacrifice and they do it for a period of time and then they fall off. Because inconsistency is a killer of success.
100%.
I wrote a letter of reference for somebody. And one of the things I could like one thing I was writing was how consistent they were. And like, I know they probably read that and thought, oh, that's it? Consistent. But to me, that's one of the strongest principles that a human being can have or hold, is like just to being a consistent performer. We love Tom Brady and Bill Belichick not because they won the title once. It was the fact that they did it consistently over a large period of time. And you know what you call that?
What do you call that?
A dynasty.
Yeah.
The stuff people write about forever. Genghis Khan had a dynasty.
100%.
And like, there's a lot of people who won once. But the people who are remembered forever are the ones that have the dynasty. And what it takes to have a dynasty is consistent sacrifice over long periods of time.
Yeah.
Or what I would call grit.
Yeah, I like that. And that's what I love about the Southwind team, is because we have people who have consistency in the right areas of life. Like Tyler's consistency in financial discipline is going to set everybody in Southwind up to win. So if you don't work in Southwind and you're listening to this, you better find a Tyler today. Gosh. And if you don't have one, you need something out, because your desires won't happen.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just done.
It's
or just,
true.
You know, maybe you talk to Josh, that might let you join the team. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. And on his consistency, it doesn't matter how much money we earn. He still has the same principles that he did when we were getting started. So much so, so Nathan here, who's the producer here of the podcast, just bought a new camera. And I didn't tell Tyler about it because I know he's going to say no.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You know, the organization's going to do $60 million this year, but every dollar that comes out has to be accounted for.
Yeah.
And he wants it in a bucket. So I just tell him, hey, man, just go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
I'll handle it later. You know what I mean?
That's a good call. You want to know how I know that's a good call? Because I know for a fact Tyler could afford some new shoes if he wanted to, but the shoes he chooses to wear has a hole in them because he feels like wearing them. Am I lying?
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
like, that's the guy I want on my team.
Oh,
I want
100%.
that guy. I want
yeah,
that guy.
I think we're all, so, he enriches all of our lives with his financial discipline.
Yeah, he does.
And also his discipline of what he does in the mornings. You know, you may not see him in the morning, but he knows every number in the business by 7 a.m., whether he's in the office or not. And that takes discipline too.
Yep.
You know, I think that like, well, that's sacrifice, because there's probably a lot of other things he'd probably prefer to be doing at that point in time. And I think all of it comes together, right? And it comes to like getting what you want. You accomplish your. So let's make a action statement here.
I've got it.
You want to go?
I want to go.
Go for it.
Can I go?
Yeah, please.
All right, because I want to wrap this up. This is the formula of us staying off the stoop. Slope intercept formula. Nate, do you remember what that was? That's Y equals MX plus B or something like that. This is the formula.
Sounds
this
like
is
you
it.
don't remember what it is.
Yeah, I taught PE and weights. Coach football. All right. This is how we're going to do it, people. First, we have to recognize if we're delusional. The way you do that is if you take a look at what you want and you don't have it, it's probably because you haven't done what it takes to get it.
Hold on one second. If you're delusional, though, you feel like you're supposed to have it. You feel like you're supposed to have it and somebody's keeping it from you.
Correct.
Because that's just not true.
Correct.
The only person who's keeping it from you
is you.
It looks you in the mirror every morning when you shave your face or if you're washing your face.
So
Same guy.
So
same person.
So we have to do that. We have to recognize that it's us. Yes. If you're feeling some type of way, it's you. No one's entitled. Okay? So here's what we do. Here's the formula. We have to identify what we want and recognize the actual desire that we want has to equal the things that are a byproduct of the correct desires. So what do you want? Okay? Where do you want to go? Number one, where do you want to go? What's it going to take to get you there? Okay? The roadmap, the plan. How are you going to get there? Okay? Number three, the big kahuna here. Who's going to mentor me? Because you cannot get where you're trying to go without a mentor, without a plan, without a roadmap, and you need insights from people who have been there before. Okay? The easiest way to find out how to get a Panamera is talk to a guy with one. Easiest way to find how to become a business owner is to speak with someone who is and figure out what it takes. Who's going to mentor you? And number four, you need to envision Who's going to be with you when you have these things you desire? Because, Nate, I would suggest it's not the people who are with you right now because you don't have it. That's a different group, Nate. Okay? So, where am I going? How am I going to get there? Who's going to mentor me? And who will be with me when I have all these things I desire? Because all the stuff you desire that you don't have yet and the people you're around, those aren't the people. Yeah. Okay? Unless you get there together, and it might take 8 years and a mind shift and a stoop that you can no longer go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Let me sum this up for you real quick. All right?
Do.
This is your formula, Nate, that we were talking about. And it's no slope. Okay? This is it right here.
It's no slope.
Mentorship or information plus sacrifice plus consistency equals the desire or equals what you want.
Yes.
Mentorship or information plus sacrifice plus consistency, and we can say consistency or grit, equals the desire of equals your desires or equals what you want. Can you get with that?
I can get with that, man. And man,
hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time,
please do,
because we gotta say it one more time. All right. And I want everybody, when I say it, I want you to pause your podcast. I want you to say it out loud because that will let me know and it'll let the universe know that you understand the concept of getting what you want. And here it is. Mentorship or information, because not everybody's lucky enough to have a mentor, but there's information and it is abundant, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So mentorship or information, plus you also have to sacrifice. That means going without things that you want right now, recognizing that getting them right now doesn't do you the good that you need. Okay, so mentorship or information plus sacrifice, plus consistency. Doing this thing for a long period of time, okay, equals your desires or getting what you want.
That was it. Hopefully you listened, paused the tape, said it out loud so the universe could hear it. Because in 2021, not only are we getting off the stoop, we're using it as a step. So let's go, people.
Yeah.
Get off the stoop and let's step.